friends? Welcome to our second pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it, review pod. Today is a double, so we are going to be going over King and Queen of the Ring as well as Double or Nothing, so it's going to be a little bit longer than what it would typically be, but there is so much to talk about. And for reference, we are recording this very late, Monday night, after Raw, so we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw just a little bit as well. But we're going to start with King and Queen of the Ring. First and foremost, this is pre-show, but I wanted to talk about it here because of who it is. Bianca and Jade. So they retained.
Yeah.
Candice and Indy, obviously heel team. It seems like we were very nervous that they were going to kind of disband or separate or put Bianca and Jade into a feud against each other. And it very much seems like that is not happening any longer. You're a big tag guy. What are your thoughts?
Tag team wrestling is my favorite form of wrestling.
It is.
I think that this makes a lot of sense. The moment that Candice and Indy were drafted to SmackDown, I said that they were going to be fed to Bianca and Jade.
It's good to see them doing something.
It's good to see that it looks like SmackDown is just going to be where the tag division lives, and that's cool. I mean, they have Shayna and Zoe, but I don't think they're beating Bianca and Jade. Bianca and Jade, I thought this was a better match than the Damage Control one. It was at least more flowed better.
Yeah.
Good match. I mean, we obviously knew who was going to win. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any dissension between Bianca and Jade yet, which I think is good. Have that be a slow burn, even though that could be a huge SummerSlam match. But overall, just a solid match. I'm happy that Candice and Indy were on the card. It's
a good SummerSlam match. I think it's a better Mania match.
That's fair. Yeah, if you really,
that's one of the dream matches, and I think that's the reason that they put them together off the bat, because then it's like nobody's gonna be like, where's Bianca Jade Mania? How can you not do that at the first Mania? It's like, you don't want to give it away immediately.
No.
Slow down. So I'm happy with that. I'm interested to see where the women's tag division goes.
Yes.
Because they've done so little with it, but I said we would talk about Raw a little bit. We did see Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in a very rare appearance on anything WWE related, but they showed up today with Shayna and Zoe. Again, I don't think we see the team beating them yet. I don't know who that's going to end up being. I don't think we've seen that come to light by any stretch of the imagination. But I am intrigued and I'm excited.
It's probably, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, because I like when tag teams are just, like an actual tag team wins. But it's probably going to be a formation of
like two
big names in the same way that Bianca and Jade were. But Bianca and Jade make a ton of sense. Possibly if Bayley ends up losing the title, I can see Bayley and Naomi taking the titles.
That's a good pick.
But yeah.
What are they doing with Naomi? We don't even know.
I am praying that they have a direction for her on SmackDown.
We shall see. Shan't we?
Yes, we shan't.
Liv and Becky. So Liv becomes the new women's champion. I was thrilled with life. I am still thrilled with life. And although I'm so excited to talk about this match, I feel like it is somehow Liv Morgan winning the title has been overshadowed by her performance tonight on Monday Night Raw, where she defended the title, retained the title, and then kissed Dominic Mysterio.
Straight up smooched the lad.
What? You know what's crazy? I thought about this.
What?
Liv kissed Dom tonight.
Yeah.
In all the time that we have had Dom and Mommy, they've never kissed. They've never, held hands.
They've never kissed. And that may go to Dom's attraction to Liv.
Right.
As Dom was just so happy to be with Mommy.
Right.
But maybe he's like, oh, I like this thing. I like this thing that Liv is doing.
So uncomfortable talking about my little Dom like that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm super happy that Liv won the title.
It was the right moment, yeah.
I went into this thinking she wasn't gonna win. I don't know why. I just didn't think they would do it that quickly. I feel like Becky just got the title.
She did. In Columbus.
But it was a little bit of a oh god, what's the word? It's not transformation.
Transitional.
Transitional, thank you.
I mean, she was absolutely a transitional champion.
She was. I just didn't think that they would take it from her so soon. But now we also have the kind of concerning topic of is Becky leaving?
I still don't think so. I
don't think so, but I think it's weird that she made that comment to Lyra about knowing when to walk away.
Yeah, I think she's being dramatic. I think she is going to take some time off. I think she is probably going to sign the biggest contract in women's history. Mercedes just signed it. I think Becky saw that contract and said, "All right, cool. Add a couple more numbers on that."
Right.
and she is going to get probably a part-time schedule. I just don't see her going to AEW.
Yeah, I don't either. She's too WWE. I don't know how to explain it.
She is very just WWE centric. Seth is there. He just re-upped. I think that that actually might have hurt her contract negotiation because they're like, well, now you're not going to leave. And she'll be like, I still will.
Right.
To get the most money. I think she's going to get a huge payday, and she is going to be the locker room leader.
Yeah.
You know, for the time being, and she'll go into more of a part-time role. But I think I thought Liv was winning because of the Becky contract situation. It did look a little bit like, damn, Becky may be leaving longer than we thought on Raw. Yeah. But Becky's my GOAT. Great run if that was her run in WWE.
Oh, insane.
But Liv being the champion is the breath of fresh air that it absolutely needed. Super interested in what they're going to do now.
I'm so excited. I mean, Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is by far, in my opinion, the best, whatever you want to call it, character, gimmick, storyline, era that they've ever
Shout out Taylor Swift, Swifties.
given her.
Hype this video up. Thank you.
I'm super excited about it. I think she's going to be at her best form in this story. And it, like, I think what I'm most excited about is, like, typically with Liv, they do something and then they drop it.
Yeah.
They can't drop this.
Yeah.
This is, like, the number one thing on Raw right now. And, like, this is only the beginning. They are only doing so much right now until Rhea comes back, and then they have to continue it when Rhea comes back. So I'm so excited for this. I think it's gonna be great. I'm so glad that Liv won, and any Liv hate is getting
so that's what I was gonna say. It is very funny to me when so many people can see Liv is a star here, but she doesn't get a lot of great stories, and she got a horrible story when she became champion.
Yeah.
With the Ronda story, and then they made him immediately. They made Ronda the badass, and then they were like, oh well, Liv's not as fun to root for.
Right.
They tried to make Liv like really into pain, and then they just dropped that. They just dropped the stuff.
It's very weird.
But then, now you see, okay, we're gonna make her champion, and we are going to prioritize her with a money feud with the Dom stuff, all of Judgment Day, because on Raw, she's talking to JD McDonough.
Yeah.
She's talking to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
What's going on there? That's super interesting. And now, obviously, her match against Rhea Ripley, whether that's SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, that is main event level match. And now everyone is going to be invested in Liv. This is exactly what she needed.
I think it only depends on when Rhea comes back.
Yeah, 100%. Like if Rhea's ready relatively soon, you do it at SummerSlam.
Part of me wanted to be like Survivor Series or like Mania, just to drag it out longer. But I don't know. It also depends on. I do feel like they're moving a little fast with it. Yeah. Like Liv got the title from Becky, a month after Becky won it, if that.
Right.
Probably not even that. And then. Because, that was middle of April that we went to that.
Right.
So it was literally a month.
A month.
It was a month.
Yeah.
But, like, so Liv, like, wins the title a month after Becky gets it.
Yeah.
When Rhea has to vacate. And then, literally a few days later, she kisses Dom. Like, we're kind of moving fast now. Like, it was slow
That's what Dom
first,
likes about it.
Apparently. Creepy.
That's not creepy. That's a normal thing.
It's just like, no, but it's just, like, weird because, like, it's like just like my little Dom. And, like, he's like
that's what Mommy said, too.
Okay, well. That's not my problem. But, like, I feel like they're moving faster with it now.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious so is Rhea coming back for SummerSlam?
Yeah.
And that's a SummerSlam
They are
match.
moving fast with it, so that does seem
I feel like Rhea's coming back for SummerSlam, and that's probably going to be the main event of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I would love if they, like, kick this into gear and the women get to main event SummerSlam.
I mean, to be honest,
I love Cody, but respectfully, there is nothing unless they do Randy.
That's what I was gonna say.
That overshadow. But like, I would literally be like, pause that, because I want it to be real.
If you're doing Cody Rhodes versus whoever it is, LA Knight or something like that, that shouldn't go on last.
No.
It would
but I worry they're gonna put the title over the person.
Right, and they usually do.
Yeah.
But Cody Randy, Cody Rock, and Cody Roman are the only things I can think go over. Unless, now I don't even think that they would do Punk Drew because, and we'll talk about that later, I don't think that that's going to be for the title, so.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah, that would be a great main event. Rhea versus Liv would be, I don't think anyone would be upset with that being the main event.
No, I think it should be. And there's very few times where, like, there's really a reasoning for like the women, like an
Yeah.
undeniable reason
Yeah.
for the women to be the main event. I think that could be one.
That's why I think that the only time that they get to main event is when it's so undeniable.
Yes, although
Like-
it was very undeniable with Bailey. And then
Right,
Bayley
right,
put her
but
on
it has to
poster.
be like beat you over the head, undeniable.
Yeah.
That it has to be 100 times over for them to actually get the main
Yeah.
event. Now, is that main event, the custody of Dom?
That would be hilarious.
It would be so good. Do we know what pay-per-view that was
No,
back
I
in the
don't.
day?
I don't know.
Because I felt like it. No. Oh my God, it was SummerSlam.
Shut up. Wait,
Oh
I'm
my
checking.
God, it was SummerSlam.
Wait,
no,
I'm
no,
checking.
no. It was like SummerSlam 06 or something. I want to say. Oh my God, I
I'm
am
checking.
99% sure that was SummerSlam.
Oh my God, hold on, I'm
If-
looking.
I'm so positive that it's SummerSlam. I'm gonna be so sad if it's not.
Wait.
'Cause I want to say it was.
SummerSlam 2005.
Oh, 5. I was off by a year. There we are.
But like, that's crazy to do.
19 years later.
19 years later, I was mathing.
Ah.
19 years later, that'd be insane.
That would be actually, bro. If Rhea is relatively, though, I do understand because Rhea seemed really pissed when she had to give up the title. If she had to give up the title and she's only out like that little
Like
amount of
3
time,
months, yeah.
I get it that she's pissed.
Yeah, it's fair.
But that's so good. That's so good. Custody of Dom match on SummerSlam.
That would be crazy.
I don't know a single person that wouldn't want that to main event.
No, me neither.
My
No.
God.
Speaking of turns and craziness, Sammy, Gable, and Bronson. So this was a triple threat.
Yep.
I still stand by Bronson is so unnecessary here, but it's fine.
Kinda. Yeah.
Gable has lost it.
Yeah.
He has lost his tiny little mind. And speaking of tiny little mind, I love that Sami Zayn tonight on Raw called him a tiny little man.
Yeah, that's right.
That
He's
was great.
5'8". It's not tiny whatsoever. Yeah.
No, but he acts like a tiny little man.
Short
you
kings
know?
rise up.
So Sammy retains, obviously.
And got a massive pop.
Massive
It was-
pop.
it was
in
one of my
Saudi.
favorite moments of the night.
Literally great.
Yeah.
I love watching him in Saudi now.
Yeah.
It just makes me
Yeah,
happy.
it's really, really cool.
So it seems like we're continuing with Sammy Gable.
Yeah.
Not sure how involved Bronson's going to continue to be. Because he wrestled who
Otis.
tonight? I already forgot.
Otis.
It was Otis. But it was like revenge for Gable because
Yeah.
Gable didn't win and,
I think,
whatever.
I think they're really just trying to find a story for Bronson.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with that. I really liked the side of Sami Zayn that I saw today, though. I really liked the badass, I'll fucking step up to you kind of Sammy.
Yeah.
So I'm still liking this feud. I wish they continued Gable and Gunther at the time, but I'm very down for this to continue.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that the big moment was Otis accidentally hitting Gable.
Yes.
Gable then running Otis down. And then we see on Raw, they were about to go a little bit further than they usually do with whooping Otis.
Whipping,
Yeah.
literally.
Literally
whipping him.
Gable goes to do it. I kind of love Maxine is more so representing the fans. I don't really want to see this.
I was so excited. I was I was sitting there I pray that Maxine is the one to stop him, and
Yeah.
she did, and I was so happy.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, because Sammy had this great moment at Mania.
Okay.
And I kind of felt like after that, Gable's getting the title relatively soon. But then he's in this feud with Otis. I really wonder. I'm assuming that the timeline is Sammy eventually loses the title to Gable. And then Sammy helps Otis take the title off of Gable. But I'm just wondering that timeline on how we talk about the World Championship and how
Yeah.
you're trying to space that out. Is Gable winning that Clash and then Otis wins at SummerSlam? Or is this a really, really drawn out feud? Because, to be fair, Sammy and Gable have been interacting for God knows how long.
I know. I don't know. I think the upside to this, as opposed to my struggles with the World Heavyweight Championship, is that you don't have to really rush it.
No, that is the good thing. No one's
I think
no one's tired of it.
whatever big switch it is, whether it's it would probably be Gable taking it from Sammy.
Yeah.
I would assume maybe SummerSlam time.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the big switch. And then, at something whatever the next pay-per-view is after that doesn't need to be super high maintenance. Of a pay-per-view could potentially be, the next pay-per-view or two could be where Otis wins it and Sammy helps.
I didn't think about it till just now. I know what's happening.
Okay.
This is going to be at SummerSlam that Gable wins the title. Because at Clash, he will once again lose to Sammy. Otis turns. And then it's going to be Gable, Creed Brothers, Ivy Nile versus Sammy and Alpha Academy.
Oh, they switch them.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Okay.
I think that's what happens.
I love the Creed brothers getting involved. I love Ivy and Maxine getting involved. I've become a really big fan of both of them individually as well as together.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really fully like explain it. I've just really been a fan of both of them. And I'm very hopeful that we get like a push of sorts.
I think that's the move. Is it's going to be like Sammy versus Gable, and Gable ends up winning, but all three of the others are on the outside.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Then we go to Queen of the Ring with your girl losing. Lyra loses. Now, Marisa was on to Lyra before anybody. Like,
I was first,
outside of people
okay? And I'm going to gatekeep this. I won't. I might. We'll see.
I don't hate Nia winning. I know a lot of people hate Nia winning, but I think that because she has done a really good job, she is a solid heel in a time that there's not a ton of heels, especially on SmackDown.
Yeah.
She makes sense to feud with Bayley. And I think, like, okay, she's not going to win the title, but they are going to give her something, while Lyra also got a massive push in the process. I think it's kind of like a win-win for everyone.
I think I was kind of in a phase of, like, I want to have my cake and eat it, too, where I was like, oh, she's like, you know, Lyra won the first match.
Yeah.
Oh, she won the next match.
Yeah.
Oh, she won this match.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let's just make her win the whole thing. It would be great.
It would be huge for all of the NXT wrestlers to be like, damn, I can be called up and literally win this tournament.
I mean,
it'd be huge.
You can't, literally she got as far as she could without, like, getting to the match, the finals match. So I am excited for her. I'm very happy that they, like, I didn't even expect her to get called up, so I'm very happy that they see something in her and they're, like, pushing her. I reluctantly understand why Nia won, in a way. Like, I think they could have done Lyra, but I get it. Nia is the heel, like you said, and she needs something.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
So, fine, whatever. I just think, like, I don't know. I still kind of wonder if, like, Jade and Tiffany kind of fucked things up.
I think that there is a really good chance that could have happened.
But I think regardless, like, I think Nia could fit as the winner. So, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, I think she fits. I think it makes a lot of sense that she's not, like, given a title or anything. I don't think she's beating Bayley. Then again, the more I think about it, she could beat Bayley.
Can we not do that?
I'm going to say 70% Bayley wins.
Okay.
I think Nia is a relatively, like, it's an understandable heel to be in a world title match, but also lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Speaking of disrespectful, Gunther.
Here's my thing that I hate about this match.
That Randy lost?
No.
That Randy had his shoulder up?
No. I think that Gunther was the right pick. I'm very happy that the Ring General won.
Bye.
It's such a good match, and the only thing that's going to be talked about is the pin.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It sucks because it's such a good match. Randy's chest had bruises everywhere.
But now
it was
it's
awesome.
like, but now I feel like, was that on purpose? Because, because like now they're like, oh, well, it's going to be a rematch. But like when Randy's healthy, I can't tell if it was like that was supposed to happen for a controversial ending, or if that was like they're trying to make it work.
I think they're trying to make it work. I don't think it made that much sense because it, like, if it was supposed to happen, I think that would have made more sense to have them have a rematch immediately or do something. And there's not really a story. The one's on Raw, one's on SmackDown. I don't think it really makes sense, and they're just trying to make it work. Yeah. I think they're trying to be like, oh yeah, this is part of the story.
Well, and also respectfully, like they in the last however many years have never given a fuck enough about Randy Orton to like try to protect him necessarily as like this badass guy. Like he's taken so many losses. Like he's won plenty, but I think he should win. I think he should win more.
World champion.
I think he should win more.
This is like a Real Madrid fan being like, yeah, you know, it's just like we always just like get hard done by in the Champions League. And it's like you have the most.
Do you know how many times that Randy Orton has lost to the Bloodline?
Okay, so he lost to the craziest modern day reign of all time.
Group of dumbasses. Thank you. Anyway. It is what it is, I guess.
I'm really sad because this was a dope ass match, and I hope that people go back and watch that match because it's very, very good. It's when I look at it, oh no, it's not match of the night, but it's it's the second best match. It's a banger. I really, really loved it, and Gunther is the absolute perfect King of the Ring so far. Hasn't put the crown on his head. He holds it up. He held it up at King of the Ring. He did it on Raw too. He holds it like
can't fuck up that hair. That thing going.
He has not much hair. It would be very difficult to mess that up. He holds it up like Simba.
Yeah, he
in
does.
Lion King. I don't know why he fully does that. Like he's like, this is my trophy, even though it's not an actual trophy.
Right.
So it's interesting. But
I would have been okay with it, like with Gunther winning if it wasn't against Randy.
I think he's right. I think he is the perfect King of the Ring because he's not going to make it gimmicky.
That's fair.
He's going to make it about being the best wrestler in the ring.
Yeah.
Then we get to... Wait, were you done?
Yeah.
Then we get to the match of the night. Listen, I'm not a Cody Rhodes guy.
We know.
But he put on a banger against AJ.
Hear about it endlessly.
Puts on a banger against Logan Paul here. My man hit a vertebreaker that was banned in WWE.
Apparently not anymore.
Shout out Hurricane. Cody was going like a little bit like not heel, like not dark, but a little bit more like violent mode.
He threw back that legacy moment a little bit.
Yeah, because when he smiles, he look a little bit like a demon. He looked a little bit like a demon from like what was that TV show called? Like Charmed or something. He looked a little like possessed a little bit.
Oh my God.
I like him tapping into that. I think
So you're gonna like heel Cody.
I don't think the WWE has the balls. They don't have the cojones to turn him heel. But if they have the cojones to turn him heel in the next couple of years, I'm gonna switch my tune about Cody Rhodes.
Cojones.
100%. Shout out to George Lopez. That's where I learned the word. But yeah, I would love a heel Cody Rhodes. Get him back to the black hair. Go all.
I like the
all
blonde.
demented. Right, the blonde until he becomes a bad guy.
Oh my God, whatever. I mean, it was a good match. Logan is always down to do like a crazy spot, which is cool, I guess, of him. That's the best compliment he's gonna get out of me.
It's at least a compliment.
The drone thing was cool.
The drone
it was
shot
a cool
was
moment.
great.
If anybody's gonna find a way to think of a moment that's gonna go viral, it's gonna be Jackass Logan Paul.
And WWE loves that.
They do. It's disgusting. It was a good match. I am getting a little tired of the repetitiveness of this is exactly what I said in the last review when we did Backlash.
Yeah.
I was like, now twice in a row they've done it back to back where it's like a random person to come out and face Cody, and they do like the face off, and then it's like the contract signing, and then another face off, and then the match, and then the next SmackDown. Brand new person introduced, and they did it.
Formula.
They did it with AJ, and then they did it with Logan, and I feel like fucking someone like LA Knight is next.
Listen, to be honest, with a person that doesn't care that much about Cody, if we just get this, we just get four weeks of like whatever, and then a banger match. I'm down for that for Cody. I know you want story because you're invested in the whole character and everything. I'm not. I'm just down for a banger every month.
Yeah,
this is great for me. But who is like the person that you would want to see Cody have like a serious feud
Randy.
with? What?
Randy Orton.
Do you want
RKO.
Because
the Viper.
Because that could very much happen, but then that's SummerSlam. That's not your Cody Randy Mania.
I know.
Match.
I wanted at Mania. I know. Yeah. I also get torn because I wanted at Mania, but then like there's a really good chance we don't go to Mania this year.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, do I want to be there? Versus like, is watching it online okay? Streaming it like.
You should actually root for it to be at SummerSlam because that's the best chance of us seeing it.
That's because
it's in Cleveland, we're in Ohio, so
that's fair. So that's okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think it deserves more.
Actually, man, listen.
If I have to watch it like as a fan on stream and like stream it from home for it to get the Mania moment it deserves, I will take that L for that because I think it deserves.
You would rather watch it at home for it to be at Mania than watch it live for SummerSlam?
Because I want this to be a like good amount of time storyline feud. I want it to get what it deserves out of it, and I think that needs to end or be part of Mania. So if I have to watch it from afar for it to be at Mania and to get the real like feud and storyline that I want out of it, I will take that.
You better than me. If it was in a title match, I'd be like, I'm going to see it. I don't care what pay-per-view it is.
I mean, we can go to Mania if you want in Vegas. It's gonna be about $2,000.
No, we actually
just to
can't.
Enter the state.
So you can't go and spend money that isn't in the bank account. They don't allow that.
We don't have Vegas money.
Yeah. Chase won't allow me to do that, unfortunately.
But overall, what do you think of this
This was a really fun pay-per-view. I'd probably go like 7.5.
I think I'm with that.
It's not like, I don't think anything like home run, oh my God, I'm going to remember this forever. But it was just like really, really good, really fun. Cody once again surprises me with the match. I think that the King and Queen of the Ring made a lot of sense. Great moment for Liv. Sammy I just want him to win everything because he is a beautiful, pure soul and should win the world title. It's just a really solid, fun show. That I think exceeded expectations. Yeah.
I think it was, honestly, it was roughly at my expectations. Outside of like the Cody Logan match was a little better than I thought, and I didn't think Liv would win.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think it was pretty much what I thought it would be. How do we feel that this is now? I saw somebody ask this on Twitter. It's now been 2 PLEs in a row that they did a 5-match card.
I love it. I love it.
I like that it's not 4 hours.
Right. We're gonna go into the opposite of that.
Of that in just a minute.
Yeah. So I really like the shortened length of it. I wish that maybe some of the matches. I think Backlash was still a better pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think that was the crowd. Nothing against the Saudi crowd, but the French crowd was
just
there's levels to this.
Yeah.
And I think that Cody versus AJ was levels better than Cody versus Logan. But I think that if that is kind of their plan, is a smaller show with really, really good matches on it, love that.
I do think that they are putting the time into making the matches like more like better quality.
Yeah.
Because I think for some of these, like especially for this pay-per-view, for obvious reasons, I don't think it's necessarily like a flaw, but the storylines are lacking.
Yeah.
Like Queen and King of the Ring, those are tournaments. They're not going to have like a storyline to them. And
Johnny
that's
loves a
totally
tournament.
that's totally fine. But like, you know, Sammy Gable has a storyline. Bronson is kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
Liv and Becky storyline, but a short one.
Yeah.
Cody Logan, no story there, literally.
Not really, yeah.
So, like, for something that was lacking in storyline, I think they tried to make up for it in quality of matches, which I really like, that they kind of have an awareness of that.
I'm kind of okay with that.
I like the 5-match card in that it's shorter also.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think it also makes sense for the kind of smaller pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know?
It seems like they're not overloading it. They definitely overloaded, 2 nights of Mania.
Yeah.
Is always a ton. So
Right.
I think going from like fucking, what was it? It's probably 7 or 8 matches a night at Mania to like 5 matches for each of these, I think is a really nice kind of opposite of that.
Yeah.
But speaking of opposites,
The
let's
opposite
talk about the opposite of a short pay-per-view, which was
that.
Double or Nothing. Tony Khan, you liar. You told me.
Yeah,
You promised me that AEW pay-per-views would be no more than 4 hours. That was what you were shooting for, and you lied by like an hour.
I think it was 4 hours, 33 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 40
something like
minutes,
that.
something like that.
Um,
But still.
Hell of a card, though. Hell of a card, hell of a pay-per-view. I know a lot of people said pay-per-view of the year, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's up there. I'd have to think about it, but I think it is up there.
I don't think that and I think I'm just totally biased here.
Okay.
I don't think anything's beating Revolution for me.
Well, Sting
because
fan.
the Sting moment is just peak.
Yeah.
I think I would really line this up with Dynasty because Dynasty had Ospreay Danielson.
Yeah.
I don't think anything beats that here. But goddamn was this there really wasn't much. There was a lot of stuff that you could have taken out and just made a big moment on Dynamite or Collision.
Yeah.
But nothing was bad here.
Yeah.
We get into they had the pre-show with the Acclaimed and Mogul Embassy and Willow and
I hate Max Caster.
or not Willow, Deanna and Thunder. But then we get into straight away open up the show Will Ospreay, Roddy Strong.
You should always start a show with Will Ospreay.
I am if you're not closing, right? If you're not closing,
you
start
with Will
it's
Ospreay.
Great.
Absolutely.
The only problem with that is a lot of people got to follow up that.
That's fair.
Ospreay wins the title. Ospreay is their national champion. Took a crazy bump to start off the match.
He did.
With that Doomsday device, which Matt Taven accidentally hit the ropes.
I was so scared.
Fell.
I thought he hit his head like badly, but
yeah.
like watching the replay, it looked like his knees caught the floor too. So I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I just I say this, I am a broken record. I physically could not care less about the Undisputed Kingdom. I just can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think Roddy and the Kingdom makes sense as a mid-card heel kind of comedy, kind of serious group. But I think that they need to get away from. I think Cole needs to get away from it, and I think Wardlow needs to get away from it. I think Wardlow's getting away from it. I don't know about Cole. I don't know when Cole's coming back. Really.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say he was cleared.
Me
and
too.
He did not say.
Me
He said
too.
he's not. He specifically said that he was not cleared yet. So I don't know when that is happening.
But
I'm very excited to stick on Ospreay for just a second. I'm very excited to see Ospreay with this title. I think you said this on the actual pod, but like this elevates the title insane to have Will Ospreay holding it.
Isn't Ospreay's song called Elevated?
I actually don't know.
Oh, I thought
Maybe.
it was. Damn.
It might be. I don't know. It might be.
No, I think that this is now the second biggest men's title in the company.
Yes.
And Ospreay has been saying, like, I remember him talking about the Swerve Pod. He was like, I want to take AEW to Japan. I want to take AEW to Mexico. I wanted to take AEW to Uganda.
Yeah.
So, like, I think he is that guy that Tony is going to allow. Hey, CMLL just called. Want to go face Mystico.
Right.
And, hey, we're getting Ospreay, Gabe Kidd, or Ospreay.
Yeah.
It's going to be, he is literally going to go out there to prove that he is the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm a world guy, which is a weird phrase. I love the world.
Right.
No, I love, like, somebody that's going out there to actually prove, like, oh, I'm the world champion because I actually travel around the world.
Yeah.
And face off with this. AEW needs to do a World Cup where Ospreay wins it because that would just make so much sense. Now
I just love me some collabs. I like when
the
companies work together.
Right. But now I think this takes Ospreay out. On the pre-show, we got the announcement of the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah.
Winners would face for the world titles at All In. I think this takes Ospreay out of that tournament, and I think that he is going to move over. And this is my theory here. I've been saying this for a while. To the guy that returns.
MJF makes his return in the Triple H jacket from 2000, whatever the hell it was.
2002.
And unexpected. Like, until Adam Cole came out, I genuinely was like, he's not coming back to Forbidden Door.
I was shocked that it's just like, it didn't open up the show. It didn't close the show.
Yeah.
Just the second thing on the card is an MJF return.
To be fair, though, that's kind of nice of Tony to do. Because, for two reasons. One, I like that AEW does things kind of haphazardly.
Yeah.
Because it leaves things a lot more, like, unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But two, like, kind of in a funny way. Like, you were like, it's really hard to follow up Ospreay.
Yeah, you
don't really have to. Because that interrupts it, and that's not a match. So, like, Bang Bang Gang came out. It was just like, the last thing was MJF, not us. Not Ospreay. So, it's fine.
However, I think that there's a lot of very important stuff from that promo. I think, for one, MJF coming out, swiftly kicking Adam Cole in the dick.
Great.
Throwing him out. I think a lot of people are like, that's setting them up for All In. I totally disagree. Yeah. I think that is him throwing away that feud.
Yeah.
Like, respectfully, I think that they will get back to it. One, I don't think that Cole may not even be there for All In. But I think that he is like, this did not work. Most of the internet hated it, even though I kind of liked it. I liked a lot of the stuff. I liked some of the goofy stuff. But I think that he was just like, nope, we're done with that. We're just acting like, whoop, now this never happened. This is the end of it. I think that moment was a lot bigger than people thought.
Yeah.
And then he spits on the mask, throws it out, shows the tattoo. Basically, is like, I'm locked in.
He says, I am never fucking leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah. I think he will.
I still think he's never leaving.
I think he will end up leaving one day.
I don't want him to leave.
Which is totally fine.
Well, he's gonna look dumb with that tattoo.
I don't think so. Cody has a horrible tattoo.
No, but you have an AEW. It says AEW.
So what?
Don't be fake, MJF.
There's an ECW wrestler out there with an ECW tattoo. Who cares?
Yeah, but ECW's not a thing
anymore. Santos was literally feuding against LWO with an LWO tattoo on his hand. Who cares?
Fair point.
And plus he'll be wearing boots. No one will ever see it. But MJF, he, from what every like wrestler says, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, all these people talk about him, and they say like he really cares about what the internet says about him. And they're like, he reads everything. I think in his player tribune thing, he said like I read everything or something. So I think that he really took that criticism to heart because a lot of people hated his title run at the very end. They really hated the Devil story, and I think that he is like, I am done with that. I am back to MJF as of old. I am going to continue my ways.
Quite literally.
Cheer me if you want to cheer me. Boo me if you want to boo me. Don't give a fuck. I am this guy, and I kind of love, I can't believe I'm kind of saying it, but like I kind of love the fact that he's not champion.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. Like, it feels like he's not like...
I think... Real quick, for the first time in a very long time, you have an AEW world champion who, like, you could see going up against MJF.
Yeah.
Like,
you have
who
people
could
on
really,
par.
you could have someone on par with him. Yes, somebody who, like, you put them together and you're like, that's much more equal.
Yeah.
Than you would think it would
I
be.
actually said this once, and I thought about it a lot more. I used to think this all the time on the pod. This happened with Takeshita. No disrespect to Takeshita. Sammy Guevara is my favorite person in AEW, and maybe in the all of wrestling right now. He did it with Sammy. He did it with Jack. He did it with Darby. He did it with Cole. He did it with a lot of people where I felt like he was trying to bring them up, and it felt like he was kind of carrying the stuff.
Yeah.
And now it feels like, no, I don't have to carry. Like, I got Ospreay that I'm feuding with. I got, maybe he didn't necessarily do it with Danielson. I got Swerve. I got people on par with me that I don't have to go down and try to help them up, even though I'm supposed to kind of be the dick in this situation.
Right.
He can just be MJF.
Yeah.
And I think that pressure is now off of him.
Yeah.
I think he probably came back and was like, this is so much nicer. And that's probably a huge thing for him to do.
Yeah. I also think, speaking of Ospreay, there were a couple little
I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF MJF. MJF makes MJF.
Right, but also the levels comment. Now that's always been MJF's, but Will Ospreay recently said in that backstage promo with the blood dripping down his face
and
that
the moment I
no
saw
one's
that,
on his level. You did call it out.
No, and Ospreay's been saying that for a couple weeks now,
Yeah.
and I was like, don't say that because MJF, when he comes back, will get mad about it. And they did it again, and I was like, I don't think MJF's gonna like it, and he did it the third time, and I was like, he's doing this on purpose.
Yeah, and MJF specifically. Now I know that was a line of his,
right?
But he specifically said nobody's on the level of him.
Yes.
In that promo too.
Ospreay, MJF for the battle, I think, of the future of AEW.
Oh my God.
I think because they also
my dream match.
They represent two very different things.
They do.
Because Ospreay is like he believes he's the best in the world, but he's very humble. MJF is the least humble guy in existence. They are MJF, though amazing worker, is the mic guy.
Yeah.
Ospreay, though a great promo, is the wrestling guy.
Yeah.
They will be like absolutely.
They're the perfect 180 of each other.
They are the yin and yang, and all I can say is if they prove to have Hangman Swerve level chemistry, this is AEW's Rock Austin.
Yeah.
That
100%.
That will be their biggest thing for the next 10 years.
I am literally I feel my heart skipping. I'm so excited. This has been my dream match.
I need that match to not disappoint. And it's going to have such high expectations. It might not be able to not disappoint. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, if there's ever two people to not disappoint,
right.
It's Ospreay.
I have never been disappointed in an Ospreay match, even when it's against somebody like Jericho, where it's Ospreay's putting in 90% of that work to make it good.
Yeah.
He still makes it good. MJF, that shit could be 50-50.
Yeah.
And I expect a Ospreay Kenny Omega level banger out of that
100%.
match.
I'm unfortunately, I think that people are going to be expecting Ospreay Danielson at Dynasty. Yeah, Dynasty.
All in? Dynasty?
Ospreay Danielson.
Oh, you mean that level of it? I'm like, they just did
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, or
yes.
yeah, it's
I get what you're
Ospreay Omega at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Type expectations.
Well,
but,
Kenny just had his surgery, a week ago?
Yeah.
For the diverticulitis, so he gonna be out for months.
Yeah.
I suspect.
I think that is the match for All In, and God, will it be huge. Now, I mean, it could be Ospreay, Jay White, Ospreay Pac, Ospreay.
I'm so down for those. At a separate time, I want All In.
Yeah, no,
MJF,
I think that there's a lot of people. Ospreay Okada could be a match.
Yeah.
I
think there's a lot of potential for Ospreay still.
Yeah. I think that this is going to be Ospreay's. Honestly, it's going to be. I'm trying to think of a moment where it was the international championship or the mid-card championship is genuinely on the same levels. I think that this could be bigger than Gunther's IC title run. I think that this could be bigger than Cena's US title run. This title is going to be seen. This was my dream scenario. I talked about in the podcast. I made a whole TikTok about how I wanted this European style championship, but it to be for the entire world and it to be like a World Cup championship. Ospreay's doing it. He's literally the perfect guy to hold the title. If they weren't doing Swerve versus Ospreay, this is the match.
I actually genuinely think a better comparison is probably saying Swerve has Cody's title and Ospreay now has Damien's.
Yeah.
He elevates it to more of a world title, an AEW. You know what I mean? But speaking of Jay White, That brings us to the next match, actually. Bang Bang Gang.
Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. No one's talked about it. Death Triangle's gear, fire. Phenomenal
They did have nice gear, actually. I didn't think of that.
Phoenix did trip going into the ring. He slipped on the ramp.
Oh.
A little bit. Not many people probably peep, but it's whatever.
Probably a good thing.
I kind of want to see this be a longer feud.
Yeah. I think it will be.
I hate the trios titles. I hate that they have to be involved. I just don't love it, but I do love this feud. I do think Jay White versus Pac, if we could have that at All In, and that's fine with me, because I think Jay White is one of the best workers. I think Pac is becoming like, I've always loved Pac, but I've realized Pac doesn't have this massive fan base. No. And I'm like, now that like I do social media and stuff, I'm like, I'm a way bigger Pac fan than most people.
Yeah.
And he may become one of my my guys that I'm known for.
Yeah.
I love him.
I mean, I've become a really big, I didn't really know Jay White much in New Japan, but I've become a pretty, outside of the spitting.
Spittiest wrestler in existence.
It's a lot. But I've become a really big Jay White fan. I think he, in AEW, has been very underrated.
Yeah.
And just in that, like, there was a period of time pretty recently that, like, Bang Bang Gang was not really on TV much. And I think we were kind of losing him a little bit.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're coming back. I mean, they have this feud going on, which is huge, and everybody's really into it. The Guns are having matches that he's getting involved in. And Juice Robinson returns.
Juice with the return.
Which is hilarious if you are on the pod, because during this match, I think you went to the bathroom or something.
I went to go record the MJF video.
You got the MJF video. And so I'm sitting here, and I got asked like 3 or 4 separate times, do you think Juice comes back? Do you think Juice comes back? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Just straight up, I was like, no. I was like, he got like a couple more months left. They said his injury was like
really
10
bad.
months.
Yeah.
And like, and then he pops up, and I'm like, forget everything I just said.
Yeah.
He's back. He's here. I'm excited. Erica did text me today in all caps. She goes, bitch, you didn't tell me my Juice was back?
My Juice was
like,
back.
My bad. I'm excited for him to come back. I low-key forgot about him for a little bit. He was gone for a really long time.
He was gone. It's really good because they said that his injury was super, super serious.
Yeah, so I guess it was less serious than they originally thought, would be my guess if he's back early.
It was scary too because of back injury, so you're always scared of that.
You never know.
They showed him a little bit a couple weeks ago. It was a couple months ago when he was feuding with the Acclaim. He walked past Jay.
Really?
When they did that promo where they were inside, or they were at the pool. No, it was against Darby because he had Darby's bat.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
And Juice walked by. So I think that was their little tease that he was coming back. But yeah, I want to see this continue. I think the Guns have improved so much, dude. I really,
Austin
like
Gunn just sells like a psychopath.
I love it.
It's entertaining.
It's actually, like, he sells crazy. I think Pac, to continuously glaze Pac, he's the best seller in wrestling.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I noticed.
It's crazy.
Sorry.
Watch Okada versus Pac at Dynasty. Dynasty actually may be my pay-per-view of the year, now when I think about it.
I think Dynasty was...
I adore that pay-per-view.
I think for me it was either Night 2 or Dynasty. And now I'm thinking Night 2 or Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, yeah.
I'm debating on it. It's hard.
This was a really good match. Outside of the Juice thing, it wasn't, like, crazy.
No.
And then you got Tony versus Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb said before this match that it was going to be the greatest AEW women's match of all time.
Yeah, she lied.
It was not, but the very interesting moment was them Serena working on Tony's knee, and then it looked like Tony may tap. She's trying to get to the rope, and Mariah tries to steal the towel from Luther to throw in the towel on Tony.
Very interesting. And she does, like, in her acting... She very much tries to portray, like, I'm worried about her.
I'm worried about her.
I'm so scared. But, like, Luther's looking at her like, are you fucking stupid? What are you doing? No, you can't do that. And then when Tony sees it later, she thought it was Luther who was going to do it.
So she blames Luther, which Luther's always the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
My only thing I'm worried about is I really don't want to see Mariah as the heel. I think she makes sense as the babyface, but I think that we may be going towards, because everyone loves Tony.
Yeah.
I think she may be transitioning more to babyface. She wins this match, by the way, which everyone knew.
Yeah, obviously.
I think Tony may be transitioning to more babyface, and I think that Mariah may be going more towards heel with Mina from Stardom and them kind of being like I don't want to say like what's the movie? Not Legally Blonde. What's the Mean Girls?
Oh,
Mean Girls,
okay.
kind of like a Mean Girl. She always says hot girl graps.
Yeah.
I think she might do kind of like almost like a Bella Twins type, like
Right.
character esque thing, and kind of be like the mean popular girl.
Yeah.
I could see that end up happening, but I kind of liked the story that they were telling, is that she adored Tony.
Yeah.
And that Tony lets her down and she turns on her.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with this way too if they end up doing that. She's winning this Owen tournament though.
I think there's
100%.
also the way if you want to keep her as a heel, although people love her, you can, continue with kind of what Mariah was acting out of like, I was so concerned for you. If that continues to happen, and Tony being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she's like, I was just worried about you and your knee. Like,
So it's actually genuine.
It's genuine. And then Tony turns on her when she's like just trying to help.
Yeah.
And it lets Mariah still be a baby face and Tony can still
I
be
did
heel.
not think of that. That's cooking. That's cooking right there.
That's what I did
not. I didn't think of her actually genuinely trying to throw in the towel because she was genuinely scared for Tony. Yeah. And that she cares about Tony more than the title.
Exactly.
That's a really good story to tell. I hope that Tony Khan, if you're listening, which I know you are, go with that one.
You're welcome.
Because I prefer that story.
You're welcome. I will say, though, the match overall, I didn't care for, like, the storyline, right? Like, I don't like Serena Deeb, so I didn't really give a fuck about this leading up to it. But the match itself was good.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I also didn't really care about the next match, if I'm being honest. Orange versus Trent Beretta.
I'm going to give a hot take. Maybe the best story going into this.
I think it would be if I cared.
I love Best Friends. I love Trent Beretta. I really wanted Trent to have a big heel run. Like, it's so weird that I go, AEW has so many championships, but then I'm like, all the championships kind of seem locked up. I don't see a championship run for Trent.
Yeah.
But I want Trent to have a championship.
Yeah.
And I'm a little pissed. I'm a little pissed that Orange ends up winning this match. I thought that why?
Because Trent got the best of him on Dynamite.
Yeah, but he didn't get this decisive win over Orange where like he beats him and then like he has something to do moving on. I think that this story continues, obviously. Oh, yeah. But like I think that for the next pay-per-view or two, Trent needs to beat Orange. I don't know if that's going to happen because Trent after this match says like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with this.
He kind of hints at, like, retiring.
I don't know if
he
hinted at retiring, leaving AEW.
Retiring probably the dramatic end of that.
Yeah,
but...
what exactly this is. Chuck just, legitimately had to retire. So,
is that confirmed?
It's not confirmed that he has to legitimately retire, but they're talking worried that he may never wrestle again.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of didn't like... Now, Orange came out in the original song and then quickly changed to Where Is My Mind? The Pixie song is back. Tony Khan has to want to punch him in the face for having to buy both songs now. And darker denim with a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's as far as Orange would go. I like that little detail, though, because Orange is the laziest wrestler in existence 99% of the time. But when he adds in just some sort of element of change, people go crazy for it. Right. And plus, it's like, I know a lot of people would think like, oh, like the big thing for Orange is the International Championship, that match with Mox, all this stuff. No, the big thing is his best friend, Trent Beretta, and that feud. But I think that Trent needs to destroy him for the next few months. Trent Beretta needs a title run, man.
I think honestly, a problem with like this feud story, whatever, being bigger, is that like, I feel like unless you've been watching AEW from the beginning, you're not as invested. Because, like, I've been watching for a little over 2 years now. And, like, they've done stuff with Best Friends. But, like, I've never seen anything that, like, got me invested into Best Friends. And maybe that's just me. But, like, that's why, for me, I'm kind of like, okay.
I'm gonna be honest, what?
Like, I didn't even know Stat was in Best Friends until, like, a year ago. Because when I started, like, she's almost never been with them from when I started watching. Like, physically with them. Comment
down below. What does Trent not have?
What are you talking about?
Or, like, Trent's got it all.
He doesn't have aura.
Trent's got aura.
I don't agree.
Trent has aura, bro. Trent's got aura. That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Trent's my favorite out of best friends.
I don't think
Because
I have a favorite.
we have Chuck Taylor, which shout out to the Awful Waffle Chuck Taylor. All right, big Sixers fan, so we do love you over here. I love Orange, but yeah, Trent's my guy, and we'll talk about the other member here in a second. Is that the next match?
No.
Unfortunately.
But we can talk about aura or a lack thereof. Hook has it. Jericho.
Bro, I thought the
does
next
not.
match was Moxley and Takeshita, and I was like, who are you referring to?
No, Hook has it. Jericho does not.
Jericho.
This is awful. So this was the match that could have been removed and gotten us way closer to like a 4-hour time limit.
This is why I don't understand. Like, there's nothing. You don't have to put all the titles on pay-per-view. You could have just made this a big show on Dynamite. You could have made this a big thing on Collision. Make a big deal of it. Put it in the main event. Who cares?
Yeah.
But like, why this didn't need to be on pay-per-view? It also doesn't need to be as long as it is. Stop having Jericho matches as long as they are. I will say, I hate to admit it, the learning tree thing. I do see the vision with it. I do see the vision. Unfortunately,
I don't. I think it's stupid.
I do like the fact that they put out Dice and then Hook and Shibata just threw Dice at Jericho.
Hilarious.
That was the only good part of this match.
Yeah.
I
think it's sad though because I think Hook is great, Shibata is great. They're very different, but they're both really, really great, and they have a lot of people behind them. And then you throw them in this fucking Jericho match, and everybody's like, "We don't need this match on the card," and it sucks for them. But it's like, this is like what's left of like what I used to say about Tony with CM Punk, where I'd be like, learn when to cut the fucking cord.
Yeah.
Tony, you need to learn when to cut the cord with Jericho.
Yeah.
We need to just like. Let him get off TV for a little bit, and then maybe we'll care when he comes back, or maybe he doesn't return and he stays backstage as a producer or something. That'd be cool too. I just can't do it.
I'm a little sad because I think that they could make the FTW title so cool.
Yeah.
They're like, there's two ways of doing the FTW title, I think, and one, it's like doing the Ricky. Where when Ricky had it, it was like everyone kind of like made fun of it, and he was like, "I'm gonna make it special because it's on Ricky Starks."
Yeah.
And then you could have it be Hook, where he's like, "I am the champion. I am the FTW champion. I could win any other title. I want the FTW title, and this means that I can have these brutal matches, and they're fun for me because I'm a masochist." Like
Ty would love that.
And then fight people that are like that. Hook versus Shibata. And if Shibata won the title, cool. John Moxley should be going for this title. Eddie Kingston should be going for this title. Like, so even someone like Hobbs or so, just like kind of maniacs.
It should kind of be the badass title.
So, right, exactly. So when people were talking about the meat title that they wanted, where it was like the big meaty men slap meat, this could just be like the hardcore, basically the hardcore title.
Yeah.
But have it actually have better matches than the hardcore title, 5-minute, fast food matches. Have it as real, just badass hardcore matches. Malachi could be winning this title. People like that. And speaking of Mox, I think that Mox versus Takeshita. On any other card, it probably would have been like one of the bigger matches. It felt like it kind of came and gone. Like it was it came and went. Yeah, it was a really cool match.
I just like, I think there was a lot of story in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That kind of outshined like this didn't really have a story. It was just a contenders match for Forbidden Door. So it was really just match quality, which of course Mox and Takeshita nailed that completely.
Yeah.
But I think there was so much story in this entire pay-per-view that it kind of overshadowed that a little bit, which I find surprising of Mox.
I hate to say it because I love Mox. I adore Takeshita. I would never want them not on the card. But like it did feel like this was one of the more filler matches. Though I did see a lot of people think that Takeshita was going to win this one because it was an IWGP Eliminator match. So Takeshita wouldn't have won the title. However, Takeshita doesn't work for New Japan. He works for DDT, and I think that they wanted that to be an Eliminator match because they didn't want him to actually have a New Japan match under their belt because then New Japan and DDT would have had to work something out. I don't think they wanted to do all that. So I think that Takeshita was never going to win this match, which is kind of sad because I want to see Takeshita win.
That's fair. I want to see something for Takeshita that doesn't involve the balding toe. However,
Don Callis was way too over this pay-per-view, by the way. Like
he was present for like 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, and then he offered Orange a contract. He was just too much.
It was way too much.
He was just too involved in this pay-per-view. Stop having Don Callis on there so much.
100%. Get rid of Jericho and take Don Callis with him.
Both Canadian.
So who do we think then? What are some potentials for Forbidden Door opponents for Mox now? Because it's not Takeshita.
I got you with a whole list if you want.
Okay.
So what I think that they're going to do is Naito. I think it's going to be a rematch of Mox Naito, and Naito will win the title.
Okay.
I don't want to see that. Nothing against Naito, but the big thing that New Japan had a problem with when Okada's leaving and Tanahashi is stepping up to be president and everything is that they didn't push these young guys to the forefront. There's a couple young guys that they could really push to the forefront.
House of Glory. House of Torture. Sorry.
House of Glory is a wrestling promotion.
I know, I was talking too quickly. House of Torture. It's midnight. I'm tired.
That's the one that Riddle is wrestling for.
What?
House of Glory. That's
getting my boys mixed up.
Riddle and Santana.
I'm getting my boys mixed up.
Yes.
I meant House
They're
of
both in
Torture.
houses, surprisingly. But no, actually,
me a Dick Togo match.
See, if you clip that early, that was gonna be crazy. No, so actually, Mox has a match against Evil before Forbidden Door.
Okay.
So, Mox is gonna crush Evil, but technically he could win.
Whatever. Is Jack Perry still with them?
I guess, kinda.
Then those
like,
still my guys.
Yeah. They loved him when no one else did. So, that's your crew for life. Well, right. You you're a part of House.
We loved him when no one else did.
Yeah, you and Dick Togo.
That's my guy.
But I think that they could. It's either Naito or I think Shingo Takagi. I think that Shingo may be Swerve's opponent.
Okay.
You could still do Sonata. You could do Tanahashi. What?
Where does Gabe Kidd go?
See, but if you want to do what they should do, which is promote the young talent, you either do Shooter, which they just had Mox versus Shooter at Resurgence, so I doubt it, but there's a ton of story there. Ren Narita, part of House of Torture, right. I doubt it.
That's my guy.
Yota Tsuji, who is, I think more so, who most of the internet kind of wants to see out of the Three Musketeers as the guy. You could, it's going to look crazy to give one of these guys the title because it seems early, but that's what they needed to do, and putting it on Forbidden Door platform is the time to do it. They're not going to. Or you do my pick, which is Gabe Kidd. You give him the fucking title. You give him the world, and you let him run as the next big gaijin. I don't think they do it, but that is the way to go. Plus, there is a built-in story there. He is already talking crazy amounts of shit to Jon Moxley because he is saying that he is not a New Japan champion. Yeah. He is an AEW guy cosplaying as a New Japan wrestler. Oh. And then also, he just broke Mox's best friend's leg in Eddie Kingston, and he hates Eddie Kingston. And Gabe Kidd is very similar to Moxley. Yeah. It will be such a good match. I think if the AEW audience saw that, they would be like, "Oh, we kind of want this guy now."
That's a good choice. I also think that whoever, going off of what you said about pushing young talent, I think whoever they choose needs to be kind of strategic for New Japan, because this is an opportunity to put somebody in a really good match with Jon Moxley, who is already an obvious fan favorite everywhere he goes, but especially in AEW. It's a really good opportunity to put somebody with him that then AEW fans could be like, I want to watch him in the next New Japan pay-per-view.
Exactly, which Gabe Kidd is perfect.
Gabe Kidd is perfect
for that. You remember when I was just telling WWE that they need to have cojones?
Yes.
President Ace Tanahashi have the fucking cojones to give Gabe Kidd the world championship. They're not going to because he just won the New Japan Strong Championship or whatever from Eddie Kingston, so they're not going to put the world title on him. But they should have cojones and give it to him because that is your future right there. If you want to do Shooter, fine. You want to do Yota Tsuji, fine. I wouldn't do Ren Narita.
Don't do Shooter.
Why not? Oh, that's right, because you have to hate him Shooter because he beat Jack Perry. He shook his hand. He shook his hand. He shook his hand
as he should. Bow down a king scapegoat.
Whatever. I love Takeshita, and I think that he should have a crazy amount of championships under his belt. He could be international championship. Honestly, just have him crush Adam Copeland and his dusty ass knees on Dynamite on Wednesday and give him the title.
It's a crazy segue because that is the next match to talk about.
God, I'm good at this. God, I'm good at this.
Couple things here. It went a little longer than needed.
That's another thing that should have been shortened.
It went a little longer than needed. There were a couple times where I thought the pin was gonna end it. There was the fake out of House of Black going to Copeland.
They did that so well.
They did do it really well.
They did that so well.
That was really good. And then the pop-up, quite literally, popped up
Gangrel.
from the ring, Gangrel, was crazy. I do think that's a one-time thing, probably.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
I think it was really cool.
I don't think AEW's trying to like have this guy like really be here for a long time by saying fanging and banging. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Edge comes out in the Brood theme.
I don't know who that is.
Or Adam Copeland comes out in the Brood theme. Fuck this guy. He comes out in the Brood theme, playing Slayer. Decides to do an elbow drop off of the cage, which is 15 to 20 feet high, and his knees just had to have just turned to dust.
He like lands on his feet.
He lands on his feet. Those knees just
they buckled. They definitely buckled, and he definitely struggled, like visibly struggled to the point I don't think it was selling for the remainder of the match, because even after the match he was like really like literally his knees were buckling.
Yeah, that was insane, and I'm kind of worried because he did that, right?
Yeah.
House of Black comes out, Brody King levels Edge. It was beautiful to see. Gangrel pops up, and 55-year-old Gangrel and Edge end up beating House of Black. I don't know where House of Black goes from here.
Tony don't like them. I don't know what they did to him, but Tony does not like them.
Well, from all the reports, it was Malachi refused to lose back in the day because he didn't want losses on his record. So then they were sending him at home because they were like, we don't want to make you like world champion, but he don't want to lose. But yeah.
Now you're taking L after L, my guy.
I genuinely I don't know what's next for House of Black. Malachi keeps losing.
Any chance they continue this and Malachi wins?
I said this on the podcast. It really feels like Edge versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania 39. It was just like Finn needed to win this. I was like, Finn is winning this match. He loses. It was also in a steel cage.
There's a theme.
There is. Edge also came out in the Brood theme. I want to say. I'm not 100% sure. He didn't.
He didn't, but Finn was the demon.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, it was just, I don't know. I think House of Black may be just chilling till their time with AEW. I mean, I do think Malachi could be a prime guy to have a big showing in like the Owen, maybe. Yeah. But I just don't see him getting anything big. And they have to be the casualty for Daniel Garcia or Konosuke Takeshita to be TNT champion. Fine.
Right. I just think it sucks because like fans have been asking for like at the very least a Malachi run for a really long time, and for whatever reason it is just not happening.
I think that Brody's gonna be fine, low key, because he doesn't have that WWE stamp.
Yeah.
That can be almost hindering at times in AEW. And I think that he works really well as this like protector of Julia. So once Julia comes back, he's fine. Buddy Matthews, I think it's kind of tough because like but because Buddy's never gonna be world champion.
He's never gonna be exciting. Yeah.
He's never gonna be exciting on the mic. But you can throw Buddy Matthews into literally any match. I think he's one of the most versatile wrestlers there is. I think you can literally throw him in any match. You're like, I can get 4 stars. You can throw him in a match tomorrow give me a random wrestler in AEW. Give me Buddy Matthews and Kip Sabian, and it can be a banger, 100%. And then you can give me Buddy Matthews versus Will Ospreay, and it could be a 5-star classic. Yeah. Like, it's no problem. He's just that good. I think Malachi really needs something to sink his teeth into.
Yeah.
And, like, have a really good story to progress. His story with Cody sucked. His story with Edge, I don't know where it's going. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Malachi.
Let me bring up one thing. Now, this has been a joke on the podcast, but I wonder... Now, to be fair, it is House of Black, and we know how things have been for them for the last couple years, so maybe it's nothing. But there were people joking in the pod, like Roberto and them, joking that, Adam Copeland refuses to put over, any talent. Do we think there's any possibility that he was like, no? I feel like I want to say no to that, but like...
As much as I'm not an Edge fan, no, I don't think that there's...
I think because it's Malachi and like he just always loses, I don't think so. But, like, who takes it from him at this point?
I don't think that there's... So, here's my issue with Edge outside of my millions of others.
Who's Edge?
Adam fucking Copeland. Who gives a fuck? All right? I'm going to start calling him by his middle name, whatever the fuck that is. I think that he gets really into these stories, and I think that he thinks that they're really unique. This is just like the Judgment Day feud repackaged. Like it feels very same. And he's like, I want to do
Joseph.
Joseph is his name?
Yeah, it's his middle name.
All right. Well, Joseph really wants to have this like spooky, feud character thing. And I just don't think it works with him. Edge at the end of the day, Joseph at the end of the day is a dickhead. So be a dickhead. And I think that they're kind of in a holding pattern till he teams up with Christian. Maybe they're going to get back to that because at the end of the show, we'll talk about it. But God, go back to the Cope Open. Go back to putting over young talent. And for the love of God, put the title on Takeshita or Daniel Garcia. For the love of, or Ricky Starks. He got really mad at Ricky Starks when he was eating him on the mic and called him a vanilla midget, even though Ricky Starks famously not vanilla. So maybe Ricky can just take the title off of him.
If Ricky stays in AEW.
That's also another concern.
There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of great things happening in AEW. There's some concerns. There's a lot of things up in the air at the same time.
I want to see Garcia take the title off of him and just...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What that kind of reminds me of, though, a little bit is like when Logan Paul first came into WWE and tried to be babyface. And I was like, you're a natural heel because you're a shitty fucking person. If you just walked out... I literally was like, if you just be yourself, you'd be a great heel. Yeah. Because that you as a person, you are a heel. You suck. You're awful. And you're annoying and you're cringy and you're rude and you're disrespectful and you're obnoxious and you're ugly and your hairline's receding.
I think you said ugly twice.
Well, he's double ugly.
Double ugly.
But it's kind of similar to like Adam's. I almost said Edge. Now you got me saying Edge. Joseph is trying to do like he's trying to be the spooky, and it's like, just be what you've been.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. I'm okay with you kind of playing with character a little bit, playing with gimmicks a little. Do the brood once in a while if it kind of gets it out of your system. Right. But, like, do what you do.
That's what it feels like. It feels like he's like, I'm doing this thing that not that many people are into, but, like, I got to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not working, bro.
No.
He
just doesn't.
It's not 1998 anymore.
There's a couple, like, if you're going to be, like, one of those, like, gothic, creepy people, there's a few things you got to have, and he doesn't have them.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to look down the barrel of the camera when I say this. There's certain people that are innovative in the way that they do things. You could bring up somebody. Name Matt Hardy that you could learn so much from about innovating a dark and spooky character. He is a great mind to learn from. And that's why AEW should be throwing the bag at Matt Hardy.
Well, Matt Hardy's busy in TNA right
I also don't know if Matt Hardy wants to really help out Edge. And I totally understand that. Joseph.
Well.
Now, if we want to talk about a perfect babyface, that's what happened
good segue.
next. Yes.
Okay.
Because the life is better when Willow Nightingale is on the television screen.
Sure. Life is even better when Mercedes Moné is champion on the screen.
Honestly,
I am so excited.
Outside of the way that you feel about Anarchy in the Arena,
this is match of the night. 100%.
Like. Anarchy in the Arena is the craziest thing, and you can absolutely make the argument that it's match of the night because of everything that happened. Yeah. But like bell for bell, just in ring.
If you're looking at literal match quality, this is match of the night.
Absolutely.
Like without question, for me.
In a match that has Ospreay versus Roddy Strong, like in a match that has a really good, in a match that has Mox and Takeshita, or in a show that has Mox and Takeshita, Mercedes and Willow tear the house down.
Tony did give them time like we had hoped for.
Yep.
And they truly... The couple things that we said going into this was, 1, Tony needs to give this time. 2, Mercedes and Will need to absolutely cook because the information came out that Mercedes has actually been cleared for several months.
Yes.
And a lot of people are upset that we haven't seen her wrestle yet.
Which? Sean Ross Sapp called bullshit on it.
What do you mean?
He said that he doesn't think that Mercedes has actually been cleared since December.
Oh, so that didn't come from Sean?
No, it came from Mercedes herself.
Oh, she said she was cleared.
She said that she's cleared since December.
Oh, now I'm conflicted.
And Sean was like, from every report that I've heard about, like, because like when she was talking with WWE about re-signing, they were like, she's gonna be out for a long time still. And that was December or so.
She pulling a Darby. She's like, I could have wrestled technically.
I don't know. But I don't know why you would lie about that. Like,
right.
I don't know. But New Japan was real pissed because there was events that they were talking about Mercedes coming up, and like there being rumors, and they were pissed that the rumors were happening because they were like, we don't want to give the expectation that she's going to be there, but she's not even close to being here.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that came from Mercedes.
Yes.
So that's very interesting.
But this match, the story of them going to Willow's ankle as Mercedes is working on that, and then Willow going back to Mercedes' ankle.
There's just so much about Mercedes. She is just a genius in the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
She just like everything has been done
Yep.
so perfectly in her debut, in this entire storyline, and even like I'm not a big person on like storytelling in the match. I don't always like think of it. I don't always see it immediately, but like I could see immediately when she was doing it.
Yep.
Like going for Willow's ankle, I was like, oh shit, she's gonna try to like do to Willow what Willow did to her, like the whole thing. Just like the whole thing was done so perfectly.
I think that I think a lot of times in wrestling they can kind of overwork the body part where it's like, okay, so the whole story of this match is one body part. Yeah. It can kind of get a little lazy because any wrestler can be like, all right, the story is to work this body part, which is fine. But like this one actually had a story to it. Yes. Which made a lot of sense.
And she didn't do it immediately.
Exactly. They didn't go to immediately and they're like, we're going to beat you over the head to the fact, hey, pay attention to the ankle or pay attention to a knee. Now, Willow takes a dive out early into this match and she lands like this. Like she lands like, okay, can you guys see me?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She lands like awkwardly. Yeah. And then she's limping. And Mercedes does something similar, and they both start to limp in this match. And I'm like, I don't know if they're both genuinely hurt. They sell so well. I just call Pac the greatest seller in wrestling right now, which I do believe. But Mercedes is up there. Mercedes is probably top 5, and then Willow is right up there. Yeah. They both just do a phenomenal job at this. I think that we were talking about Mercedes has been training in Mexico and learning lucha libre a lot. And they call the person that's kind of getting all of the moves done, the bigger person, the base. I can't remember what they call the person that's doing the more high fly moves. I think it's just more so the luchador or the baby face, typically. And that's really what Mercedes had done. So it's kind of wild to go. Mercedes and Willow had this lucha style match, but it was very similar to a very authentic lucha libre match. And I adored it. The only thing that I hated was the ending.
You wanna vent a little on that one?
Was the goddamn ending. Chris Statlander, you bitch. I hate Chris Statlander so much. And Stokely, you
bro, the
tiny bitch.
The way Stokely was laughing.
You tiny evil bitch. I hate Stokely. I hate Chris Statlander. She was wearing lingerie, all right?
She was wearing a small outfit.
Not very role model-esque. Okay? Chris Statlander.
She looked great. I was just like, I wouldn't.
Oh, did she look great when she was betraying her best friend?
Outfit wise, yeah. But I would just like me as like it's like as a woman, I'd be nervous to wear that if I'm like wrestling. Like she didn't like wrestle, but like doing like the moves and stuff. I'd be too scared. It was a tiny outfit. But anyway, she looked great.
I think that she should be scared because Willow is going to get her revenge on her. So, anyways, once Mercedes wins this match because. It was actually Willow and Stat's fault from the beginning. Because,
Willow and Stat's fault?
Or
Stokely's?
Those bitches have got me messed up.
Right.
It's Stokely and Stat's fault because they go onto the ring arguing.
Because Mercedes hit Stat.
Yes,
so then Stat went to go get her.
She shoved Stat, and Stat, her ego got way too crazy. They go onto the ropes. Willow hits the gut wrench powerbomb. Bang. Yes. Should have won it. You could count to 100 there. But unfortunately, they take way too much time on the ropes. Cost Willow a dub. And then Mercedes takes advantage, ends up beating Willow. And then, as we thought that Stat would be a good friend and help Willow to the ring.
To backstage.
Straight up, or to the backstage, straight up, clotheslines the hell out of a pure soul that did not deserve that in Willow Nightingale.
She is truly like fucking rainbows coming out of her ass, man.
Oh, that is her entrance.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't come out of her ass, but yeah.
It feels like it.
She's a ray of sunshine.
But listen, I am Yes, sure, honey, stats a bitch. But I am excited.
Thank you.
I'm actually excited for this.
Dumb bitch.
Because I am very, like, I don't, like I just said, like, there are some things I don't notice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think of immediately. But you know what I do immediately notice is anytime there is even an inkling of an extra women's feud happening. And I picked up on it. My first immediate thought was Will's going to go to Stat, and that leaves Mercedes open. This one storyline has now become two. And there can be somebody new coming in. Enter DMD. Please, for the love of fucking God. But regardless, even if it's not.
No, I know. I think you're right.
I think it is. I would love that. And to credit you, you thought of it first yesterday on the stream. But
I don't think I did. I think you called that out.
Works for me. But I would love for it to be Britt. But regardless, I like that now Willow's gonna kind of be sidelined with Stat, and this leaves another feud open for somebody else. We are getting feuds on feuds on feuds. Like, we are adding a lot of storyline and a lot of depth into this women's division, and I am very much enjoying it and liking where it's going. I feel like there's becoming more and more, like, Tony is finally really trying to push new women, young women. Julia getting sidelined hurts that a little bit, but there's nothing he can do about that or anybody else. But I'm very, very excited to see who her next opponent is.
I think that you have Deanna and Thunder right now going off on a little thing.
I kind of wish they pushed that a little bit more, and that could have been on the main card. But
no, but I kind of like that. Like that's something that's really important for Rampage. You know, and then you have Anna Jay and her, attempting to level up right now and working with all of the Stardom women. That's great for Rampage as well. Yeah. And then you have more so the Collision and Dynamite feuds that are going to be happening with Mercedes and whoever, Willow and Stat, Tony and Mariah, and that we're going to get all of the Stardom women at Forbidden Door. So I think that, and then you could still see possibly Jamie Hayter popping up. Yeah. Maybe Jamie Hayter is the person that pops up against Mariah when Mariah beats Tony.
I wanted to mention really quickly, I'm going to talk about this, and Maya said what I said, but I wanted to mention it. Mercedes and Saraya are already communicating.
Okay.
I know Saraya is a lot more careful in the ring nowadays. She's not exactly as kind of probably fearless as she used to be, and that's fair. But I think storyline-wise, I don't know if we do it right now. I think we do it later. But they're already kind of going back and forth on Twitter. And somebody asked Mercedes about it in the press conference yesterday, which is what brought it up in the first place. And essentially, Mercedes was like, if she wants it, bring it. And Saraya was like, I'm taking more than just your title.
She's hitting Liv Morgan. She's taking...
Revenge Tour?
She's taking... the Corgi?
Oh, my God.
Wait, her Corgi's name is Ein, right?
No.
Or no, she got the Corgi because
of Ein. It's like
because of Cowboy
some
Bebop.
of the K.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
I just saw her post it. It was some of the K. Yeah. But just as a side note, that might be something coming down the pipeline at some point in life, which I'm for.
Makazi, watch out.
Okay.
That's Mercedes' husband.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that.
He's the one that does. He's the seamstress for WWE. That's not Bianca Belair.
Yeah. She becoming the seamstress for everybody, bro.
Yeah, for real.
She gotta make her and Jade match, and then Dawkins gotta match Montez. It's a lot of work.
I think Mercedes Britt is the answer. Especially, you can give that a really big feud.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do it right away.
No,
what I'm saying is, I don't think you do it right away on Dynamite. Like, I think because we have Forbidden Door coming up, we just have Mercedes get involved with the Stardom women, and then right after Forbidden Door, maybe at Forbidden Door.
I was gonna say after she beats somebody else, and Mercedes is getting all cocky like no one can beat me. Britt comes out.
You could have Mayu.
She's like, Britt's like, you're in my shit, bitch.
Yeah, Azumi, somebody like that, and then just boom, Britt comes out and just, I don't even know if you need. I think it may be like Mercedes begins to be like, this is easy. I've taken over.
Right.
I've taken over. I just come in, my match, I win the title. This is easy. This is great. And Britt be like, all right, get to the fucking back of the line now.
Right, yeah.
Because she's going to take her title. I don't think Britt wins, by the way.
Can I actually say hot take?
What?
I think Britt should beat her.
No.
Maybe not immediately, but I think Britt wins the feud and takes the title.
Oh, my God. That's so quick.
What do you mean?
I think Mercedes is going to have that title for like a year.
She might do it later. I don't give a fuck. But I think when that happens, I think Britt wins.
Wow. I think Britt loses. But,
I think Britt wins. Because here's the thing. You have Mercedes. She is coming in as an outside person.
Yes.
And Britt has always been the main woman in this division.
Mm-hmm.
And her being out for so long and it being very public knowledge that she's willing to push other women.
Yeah.
I think Mercedes getting too overly confident. Now, I think it should be, the feud should span.
Yeah.
So I think Mercedes can beat her for a while, but I think whenever your final matches with this, whether that's all in, maybe that's later on, but regardless, whatever that final match is, I think Britt comes out with the title and she kind of just like reiterates, like, this was my division.
Yeah.
I built this shit. You walked into my company. You walked into my division. Because I do think, like, Mercedes is Mercedes, but you gotta catch her an L somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that the person to do, like,
you're very limited on who can do it.
That is the way that AEW makes their stars. Like, though Mercedes is their star, their stars, they're homegrown people,
Yes.
like Britt Baker. That elevates them in the same way that it's like, yeah, like, I guess it's kind of reversed. They should have done it the other way, but like when CM Punk came in, it should be about Hangman and to elevate Hangman. They did it the reverse, and now they're seeing the consequences of that.
Right.
But yeah, Britt can be that person that actually represents AEW. I do think that we could be headed to a blood and guts match for that. That would be super good.
Yeah.
Like, Mercedes, Tony, Chris Statlander, you know, that I do think that Mercedes is going to be way better as a heel. Whenever they decide to do that. I don't know if they want to do it yet, but when they decide to do that's the way to go.
Yeah. I think for me, I think it would feel right. Although I love Mercedes so much, but I think it feels more right if Britt comes out of that with the win in the title.
Yeah.
I do think it's maybe more of a long shot, but that's what I would prefer to see. I think it's just better than, like, Mercedes is like, she's fucking Mercedes. Like, she can take that L and people are going to be like, she's undefeated.
Yeah.
Like, and she could take that L and people are still going to say that. It's not going to hurt her, but in the, like, storyline of, like, the women's division, I think it's a big statement to make that it's like, you're actually not untouchable.
Yeah.
Because Britt is this amazing wrestler who has put in so much work and she does all this and da-da-da. So I just think she should come out with that.
Or Willow gets that title back. So,
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No. I will say, we're talking about great champions. We can move on to the next match.
Right,
talk about Swerve.
Great transition.
Thank you.
There you go.
We can talk about Swerve. If we're going to talk about boring people, we can talk about Christian.
I was so disrespectful to
this match didn't need to happen. This match was way too long.
No.
They could have ended 10 minutes earlier.
One, Swerve, gear of the night with the Warriors.
That's
cosplay.
fine.
That's fine. Dope match. This once again proves that Christian is a top 5 AEW signing of all time. I said it. He's just so good. He's so reliable. He surprises me each time he gets into the ring that I'm like, I was going to say no disrespect to Copeland. Disrespect to Copeland. I don't care. Christian's better than him in every way. And he always has been, by the way. But, like, he is just better than him. He's putting on a banger, which it's Swerve. He'll put on a banger with anybody. But, like, he puts on such a good match here. And Swerve is top 5 best wrestler in the world. So I also think, like, pretty early, this is his first world title defense on a pay-per-view. You needed to make it, you need to give it time to, like, make him feel important as champion.
I guess so.
Which he's killing it right now.
He is on a great run.
I love his stuff with the Young Bucks. It does make me a little fearful that at All In it's going to be Swerve versus Jack Perry, because Jack Perry,
If Jack Perry wins that title, I'm going to pop like nobody who's ever
Actually, I didn't
popped.
even think about the fact that it's All In. And that's what happened with the whole Punk shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, a year ago, he was on the buy-in in the first match against Hook for the FTW title, getting, into it with Punk. And then the next year, wins the world title.
I will pop like nobody has ever popped before if he wins that
That's
title.
insane. It's not happening.
It's not,
it's
but it
Swerve
would be
Hangman.
awesome.
But that,
great.
you know what? Jack actually might be in the Owen tournament and go far.
Maybe.
To set that, just to put that into people's minds.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
I would love that.
But this is a good match.
I will give Christian credit.
He's dope.
He looks like a skinny old man to me every time I see him, and then when he wrestles, he reminds me he's actually good at this.
He's great.
I forget every time, and then he reminds me, and then I'm like, okay, cool. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, I still can't stand you. It was a good match. I just feel like time wise, again, if things could have been cut, we could have taken 5 to 8 minutes off this match. That's all I'm saying. But I do see your point on, like, you want to make sure Swerve's first defense has time. I hear that. I just think there was so much on this card that, like, it was a good match even if you cut it 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. I feel like that's kind of over now, maybe.
Yeah, I think that this was a quick feud. We're gonna go to I think we're really gonna get building up to Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Actually, on Dynamite, they have the gauntlet match to see who's facing Swerve for the world title.
Right. So we're gonna kind of move on and go that way.
We're moving on right away. From
Which
that.
I think is good. I think Christian is really good at kind of quickly starting up a feud.
Yeah.
Because he just comes out and insults your dead parents.
Yeah. Or he brings up your daughter or something.
Right.
And it's just like, all right, well, now I immediately want to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that works. But I am looking forward to kind of what's next for him. For Swerve, I mean. Which I guess we'll see on Wednesday. Which
we talked about a little bit, but yeah. Shingo Takagi.
Yeah.
I do think there is a slight chance. I don't think it will happen because of how, like, big it is to have AEW and New Japan as the focal point of Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they would do this, but I do think that there is a tiny bit of chance that this Battle Royal could be won by Mystico, and it'd be AEW versus CMLL over there, especially if New Japan is winning the title. If, say, Naito beats Mox in the other match, I think that they may throw a bone to CMLL and have a big match there. I doubt it. I think that we're probably getting Shingo. Once again, we could do Gabe Kid. This could also make sense if you're like, okay, we don't want to put the title on him, but we want, this big moment. Give it to Gabe Kid.
Yeah.
He will insult Swerve's family. He doesn't care.
Oh my God, those two on the mic would be insane.
Oh, it'd be great. Or if they just listen, if Tony Khan wants to cook here, we could go Hiromu Takahashi, and we could get Swerve versus Hiromu, which would pair really well with their styles. But I don't think that they would do that because Hiromu's not really seen as like a world title guy. He's seen as the Super Junior guy. Could do Tanahashi, still. Could do Sonata. Could do Naito if he's not facing Mox. Shooter, Narita, Tsuji.
Shooter.
Actually, that just felt right when I said it.
What?
Swerve and Tsuji.
Tsuji?
Yoda Tsuji, yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Gene Blaster.
Who?
Gene Blaster.
That did nothing. That didn't help a damn thing.
Do you remember the match where he faced the other guy for their hair? And he had the really long hair? Swerve versus Tsuji.
All right, anyway.
It just feels right.
Yeah, okay.
Then,
let's go back. Oh, you're going to continue?
No, I was
okay, okay. Let's go back to talking about Jack Perry. This gave me anxiety like I don't know if I felt in a very, 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 very long time.
I had no anxiety. This was dope.
It was amazing. I think it went above and beyond expectations of craziness.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably the craziest Anarchy in the Arena. And that's saying a lot.
This was like, this was like Darby going to the playground. Like, he was in his bag in this match. Because I know most of this was set up by him.
Oh, for sure. I do think sometimes maybe Tony Khan need to be like, we can't do all your ideas.
Yeah.
But
that may be another concern.
Yeah.
Like, Punk and Jericho were concerns for, like, really bad reasons. Although good things come out of Darby, Tony, we may want to just hold him a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, because, like, there's some wrestlers that when they get creative control, they can be creative.
Yeah.
Here, and this may be a lot. At the first Anarchy in the Arena, I think it got 5 stars. It was just like...
This was like 25 stars.
Well, but the big thing was, how crazy is it that Eddie Kingston was pouring gasoline on Bryan Danielson, ready to set him on fire?
A lot of people have said that's where Darby got the flamethrower idea from.
And maybe. But it was like, damn. He was ready to set him on fire. We get to the second one, great one. I would say the first one's better. Get the second one. And the third one's like, we're actually just going to do it. We're actually just going to set him on fire.
Yeah.
And AEW is willing to cross that threshold. And
which I love. I wish it wasn't Jack Perry, but I love it.
I love that it was Jack Perry.
God, it gives me so much anxiety. There's two sides to it. So on one hand, it gives me so much anxiety because like I just can't. I know that they like doused him in the fire retardant thing. I know they had like 4 extinguishers on hand. What?
Nothing. I said, what'd you call me?
I know they had like 4 extinguishers on hand. I know they had like the medics were like on that shit before Jack hit the floor. They were as prepared as they could possibly be for that spot. But it gives me, on one hand, so much anxiety regardless of like the preparation. But then on the other hand, I am like a proud mother where I'm just like, he has grown so much in the last like 6 to 8 months. Like, as a wrestler, as a character, as like all these different things, and like he's literally like, I will do whatever I need to fucking do to like make this as great as possible.
I love that coming out of Jack too, because Darby is seen as that guy.
Yeah.
Sammy's kind of seen as that guy too.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I'm willing to go balls to the wall. And Jack is kind of seen as like, I actually like, before all of the Punk stuff and everything, I don't really know what the perception of Jack was outside of most people just kind of thinking that he's boring. Yeah. But I don't think that they thought like, he's got a screw loose, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's insane. He's done some like crazy spots early in AEW where he was jumping off some like crazy stuff.
His cage match with Luchasaurus Full Gear 2022 was crazy.
It's good, but it wasn't like, oh my god.
It wasn't insane, but like it was like
bloody.
It was a sign of like he's willing to go there.
Yeah, but like this is 20 steps up.
Yeah. And I actually think, I just thought of this when you kind of mentioned Sammy, Darby, and MJF, but it's like, this finally makes Jack feel like a pillar.
Yeah, I know.
Now, like he's finally like, get what?
All I've had to see on Twitter is them being like, like we really doubted Jack, and like, wow, he's a great pillar, and wow, we really doubted Darby, and he's a great pillar, and well, MJF we always knew was a great pillar. What are you doing, Sammy? And as just me sitting there as a Sammy guy, I'm like, please give him something to do. Because he's great. When we watch him, he's great. And I feel like everyone has forgotten that he's put on probably, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, he's put on, in terms of match quality, through all of the pillars, Sammy is the best wrestler out of all of them and puts on the best matches. But he has the least amount to do. And he right now has the least amount of aura. He has the least amount of cool moments.
Because he's not present.
So I just honestly on Dynamite, just have him and Ospreay go for the international championship. Well, I need it.
Any chance Sammy's in the tournament for Swerve?
No.
Probably not, but thought I'd put it out there.
No. Just give me Sammy and Ospreay and actually just genuinely make them wrestle 10 times.
Here's a quick thing. Side note. Ty tweeted today that she's only a couple months away from returning. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a chance they're holding him back, waiting for Ty to return and return them at the same time?
No, well, yeah, but I just thought of something.
Okay.
What did Tony Khan say at this press conference?
I don't know. I fell asleep. Knocked out.
This is coming out as a TikTok as well, so go to my TikTok when you see this video. Because I just thought of it, so now I'll make a TikTok tomorrow about it. That Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello are the inaugural mixed tag team champions in AEW.
Yeah, when he brings out that title? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of when you said it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that until right now, but I'm making a video
Respectfully,
about that
if you're doing a mixed tag championship, Sammy and Ty, they start it, they end with it, they own it. It's theirs. 100%.
And then they do a marriage angle.
They're already married.
Yeah, but they do it for the show. I guess they made it a little too public.
It's very public, and the baby doesn't help. They already skipped to that.
Most people do.
I mean, like, they already announced the baby in the wedding dress, so that would...
Yeah, I guess they did do that, didn't they?
But I see your point. That was good thought, though. But yes.
That's something that could save them. Honestly, genuinely, like, not to make this about Sammy, they just need to make Sammy's character that he is willing to do the most insane things because he is trying to become the biggest star for his daughter.
Just make him like the next, like Jeff. Let him jump off shit.
Just put him with Jeff. Just have Jeff mentor
or
him.
that.
Please, for the love of God. Just put some face paint on him. Please,
but I am very happy that Jack is finally getting the love that he deserves, that I always knew was there.
Yes.
I have a really hard time not gatekeeping him. I really do. But I'm very happy for him. I'm very proud of him. The Elite did fine in this match. Bryan Danielson is fucking blind, and I can't deal with it. Darby's hanging quite literally from the fucking ceiling.
Looking like a skewer.
And Danielson's just like, excuse me, let me get that chair. Oh, excuse me, just fucking insanity.
Looking like a skewer at a Euro restaurant.
If you are watching this for some reason on our YouTube or you're on our Patreon and you didn't see me, if you want to watch me, I'm like a step away from like convulsing during this match. It's like everybody thought it was hilarious. We ended up with like fucking 70-something people at midnight, like 12:30 a.m. on this podcast watching with us, probably because half of them saw me freaking out. But it was a really, really great match. I think it was probably the most entertaining thing of the night because of all the craziness, obviously. Yeah. But absolutely, insane. Above expectations.
Jack uses the scapegoat car. It really just felt like...
The bus was insane.
It really just felt like you didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah. The only thing I knew was coming was the flamethrower.
Yeah. Insane match. Jack had... I think he has cemented himself as like one of the most important people in AEW now, which is huge for him. Darby hanging like a skewer. I can't believe Darby damn sure was not cleared for this, by the way. Like, I don't know.
He came down the ramp like to start the match limping.
The note said I am 12. That's what the note said. It wasn't an actual doctor's note. He forged his mom's signature there for sure. Insane. Matt.
I loved the limited FTR that we had. It was very limited amount of FTR.
It was limited.
And I ain't questioning shit. It was great.
I do love the Young Bucks being like, yo, don't play their music. We're going to lose $200,000.
They're never not in character.
They were so good here. The Reeboks that they are promoting.
The amount of tax used in this match was insane.
Also, just thinking about like doing marketing classes and everything. Reebok, you hit the jackpot with that. Like, more sportswear should go into wrestling because you're hitting jackpot when they're using it. Using it for spots like that. The Okada arm sleeve. It's just crazy because, like, you never see Okada do stuff like that.
Right.
The Okada arm sleeve thumbtack that was beautiful with the Rainmaker.
But also, like, wrestling fans are so loyal to, like, their people. Like, there are so many diehard Young Bucks fans that were like, my next shoes are Reeboks.
Yeah, and
I'm getting Reeboks.
It's crazy because those shoes are terrible.
I bought a fucking hoodlum hockey jersey. If I watched a hockey game in my life, no. But Darby put it out, so I bought it.
Yeah.
I have a trucker hat. I don't wear hats, let alone trucker hats, but it says scapegoat, so I fucking got it.
Yeah. Yeah, wrestling fans are loyal as hell.
Yes.
This was great. I think that this is probably the best Anarchy in the Arena match.
I think it is.
I really love the first one. I think that the first one may be more solid of a match if I go back and watch it. I think that it was also more balanced between all of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
But I think that this one by far is the craziest.
Yeah.
They reached a level. I think I gave.
It's gonna be hard to beat.
I gave Darby most improved last year. I thought 2023 was his real. Like, he was always a breakout guy, but like, it really became like, oh, I see him as world champion.
Right.
And now I'm going, Darby's having some pretty iconic moments in 2024, and I think that they could really make him world champion if he,
stays healthy, stops getting hit by buses.
Just decides, hey, let me not try to climb Mount Everest and let me heal up from my injuries, and he could genuinely be champion by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Him and Swerve could like, that could be it. Wrestle Dream that everyone's talking about is, going to be Swerve and Danielson or something.
Yeah.
It could be Swerve and Darby wins in Washington. Like, I could see that happening.
I'm down.
Jack also submitting himself here, defeating Bryan Danielson, pinning Danielson with the running knee.
Yeah.
I could see him becoming world champion very, very soon.
So excited. But I will say, I think overall, Double or Nothing, I think for me it's now like WrestleMania Night 2 and Double or Nothing are my top. And I genuinely don't know, like, obviously WWE's not gonna top Night 2, like that was their pay-per-view. But I don't know if AEW could top Double or Nothing. I think it's possible because every time I say that, AEW proves me wrong.
Right.
So I will leave it open, especially for something like All In. But like, just like I came into Double or Nothing being like, this is gonna be like a 7 out of 10. It's gonna be chill. It's gonna be, you know, whatever. And it like complete 180 from what I thought. It was like literally like, it's hard for me to like to not give it like a literal 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I do wish the Jericho match wasn't on there. Tony Serena was like, it was okay. Orange Trent was okay for me. Copeland match was all right. I do think that. Swerve Christian was all right. I do wish it was shorter. But like, so there, like, I do have some negatives.
Yeah, I think that there was too much fat on this card, to be fair.
But it was just like,
but when they
still
hit,
so good.
But when they hit, I mean, I think almost everything was solid. But there was like, but it's tough because it's like, there's fat on this card. There is filler on this card, but it's still good filler. It's like One Piece. There's good fillers. But it's still filler.
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily needed.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect card, but goddamn is it good.
It's
and
pretty close.
when it's good, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like
the highs are very high.
The Anarchy in the Arena, the Mercedes and Willow.
MJF returning.
Like,
it was amazing. They had some crazy fun moments in this.
I think the AEW really needed this.
Yeah.
And it felt like they were back to more so old school AEW.
Yes.
And they really feel, I think for a long time, especially in 2023, they really tried to make themselves, and the end of 2022, they really tried to make themselves similar to WWE.
Yeah.
And now it's like, they couldn't be more different. You're not going to see someone get lit on fire outside of the Bray, Randy feud.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to see that kind of stuff happening. Hopefully you're not going to see wrestlers jump and land on their feet off of a cage.
Yeah.
You're not going to see the stuff that MJF cut. Yeah. You're not going to see, respectfully, you're not going to see a wrestler like Ospreay on there. Outside, Ilya and Gunther.
Great, but they're not Ospreay.
But, there's just so much that made them feel like an alternative here. Yeah. And I really like that they're going back to that.
Me too. So 12 out of 10 for Double or Nothing. I would say King and Queen of the Ring, going back. I feel like we talked way more about Double or Nothing, but it just had so much more on the card. It's so much more going on. But going back to King and Queen of the Ring, 7.5 or so.
Maybe I give King and Queen of the Ring like a 7, and I give this maybe like an 8.5.
Double or Nothing, 8.5. Yeah. Jack Perry pinned Bryan Danielson. Yeah. 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I say like 9 for me on Double or Nothing. Because the stuff that I didn't like for small reasons. Yeah. But it was still good matches. There were still stories, so I can't hate on it that much. So I would say 9 for me with that. But overall, a literal insane weekend of wrestling. We are now taking a break. People are like, why aren't you're not streaming Raw tonight? Like, no, we just streamed like 6 things in a row. But great weekend of wrestling. I think AEW, like I said, is very much back on track and kind of like being an alternative. I'm super excited. I think things are looking really great in both companies right now. I'm excited for so many things going on. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. So if you actually watched through this entire thing, thank you so much for staying here. Comment your thoughts, your ratings on matches, on the whole card, on the shows in general. Let us know what you think. And we will see y'all for a bonus pod in like a week or so.